Hey everyone, you've probably heard the saying that all motorcycle riders have crashed or haven't crashed yet. And for the track, it's even more relevant. Some say that if you haven't crashed the track, you're not trying hard enough. And I agree with that partially, but I'd rather you crash on a small pit bike at a low speed rather than a big bike at 150 miles an hour at the end of the straight. I had my crash, a big one. And I hope this story can save someone from a crash like that. So I'll get back to the reasons why it happened and what I could do to avoid it, but first let's see what happened. Basically, I got rear-ended. The difference in speed was massive. I didn't even see it coming since we don't have any mirrors. I felt a strong hit from behind, and the next thing I know is I'm just sliding on the asphalt. I thought, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna come to a stop in a little bit. But as soon as I thought about that, I started tumbling. Thing is, I reached the side of the track and I started tumbling in the sand. Yeah, for some reason we don't have gravel on that track. So I was tumbling for what seemed like an eternity and was just thinking, God, please don't let the bike fall on me. I was really scared that the bike can reach me and hit me or fall down on me. After a lot of tumbling in the sand, I finally stopped. So I laid down and had trouble breathing, but that went away in a few seconds. I wasn't unconscious, and the first thing I wanted to do is check that everything works. So I moved my feet, moved my hands, moved my neck, and by that time the fire engine and the ambulance were right in front of me. They checked me up and took me into the ambulance with the guy that crashed into me. And after I got checked up at the hospital, I was able to drive home, which is about a 3-hour drive. And I think I was fine enough to do that after God's protection and the fact that this is a track and I didn't have any oncoming traffic or trees or electric poles is one thing. Gear. In my previous video about things that you shouldn't skimp on, gear was at the top of the list. You can actually watch that video somewhere here. You need to have the best gear you can buy. And I truly believe that the fact that I had a really good gear saved me from a lot worse. I had a really good helmet, a really good suit, really good boots, good back protector, but average gloves. Not the worst, just average. And surprise, surprise, the only thing that got really hurt was my hand. I did have a lot of bruises all over my body, but this was the only thing that was actually seriously hurt. I broke 2 bones, and I'm pretty sure that it happened about right here. I had to undergo 2 surgeries and a month of physiotherapy. I had 2 titanium plates and about a dozen bolts. But in 4 weeks, I was back at the track for the next race. And now I have really good gloves. Don't skimp on gear. By the way, the other guy broke his arm and sprained his ankle, but other than that, he only had some bruises. So what actually happened? Why did I crash? And when I say I mean we. Thing is, what you're looking at is the end of the race. This is a start-finish straight and everybody's slowing down, apart from this guy. He was so focused on the race that he didn't notice the checkered flag and he was just going full steam. I was going about 50 miles an hour while he was going over 100. So he wasn't expecting me to go that slow, especially considering that we are on the straight. This is what my bike looked like after the crash. And this is what his bike looked like after the crash. His bike actually caught fire. But when I say his, I mean the bike he borrowed. A brand new bike he borrowed. Try explaining that to the owner. So here are a couple of things I learned from this crash. Firstly, even if you do everything right, someone else can hit you on the track. So you have to be prepared. You have to have the best gear you can get. And secondly, never drop your speed abruptly, even if it's the end of the race. Try to keep your pace at least till turn 1, then get off the racing line. Maybe even raise your hand or stick your leg out so that other people can see that you're going slow. My mistake was that I stayed on the racing line and dropped my speed significantly. If I had kept the throttle open just a little bit longer, this wouldn't have happened. Thanks for watching. I really hope that my experience can save someone from a crash. So stay safe and keep them rubber side down.